To me, the first 30 days with your wild Mustang is the most crucial. This is where you're either going to experience a lot of success and your Mustang is going to be very friendly and domestic and you can do all sorts of fun things, or you're going to get stuck and you're not sure what to do. So what happens is you bring home your wild Mustang. In that first week, you are super dedicated to working it every single day. It is exciting and fun and brand new challenge. But then week 2 comes along, and 3 and 4, and the busyness of life creeps in, and you start to miss sessions. And then you wake up one day, and it's been a month, and your Mustang is still feral. It's wild, you can't touch it, and you are just not sure what to do. And so then you start missing more and more sessions, and before you know it, half a year's passed, and you still can't touch your wild Mustang. And unfortunately, I have seen this happen time and time again. And so today, I'm going to share my 30-day game plan to help you have the best chance of successfully training your wild Mustang. And I've used this on close to 100 wild Mustangs and have made progress with even the most difficult ones. So, the first thing you're going to want to do is you have to commit the first 30 days. I like to do 6 days a week with my Mustang for the first 30 days. I will work them for 1 to 3, 4 hours every day. And I like to break up those into like smaller sessions. So I'll do about 2 to 3 sessions every single day. So typically my morning one is my longest one because I am a morning person. And so I'll work my Mustang for like an hour and a half to 2 hours depending on the Mustang in the morning. And it's not all round penny work. You can do a lot of smaller exercises that aren't physically demanding but are very mentally demanding for the Mustangs. And so it's not 2 hours of running. It's doing a lot of different things and just string them together into like a 2-hour session. Then I'll do like half an hour at lunch or maybe only 10 minutes depending on how much time I have. And then I'll try and do another half hour in the evening. And so that just helps to kind of break it up. My Mustang can make a lot of progress because I'm spending a lot of time with them. And they're also just getting used to me being like part of their life every single day, several times a day. The next thing is I'm a big person on making a plan. So what I'll do is I'll pull out like a calendar and I like to reflect on what I did that day. So highs and lows, what my Mustang was really good at, maybe some things that they were struggling at, things that I could do better. And then I like to make a plan for the next day. So what are some things I really want to focus on? What are some points that I would hope to improve? And I always keep that plan very flexible, but I always find I make more progress and I'm a lot more clear when I know what I'm working towards. Another thing I like to do is I like to videotape myself once a week working with my Mustang, especially if I'm struggling. So that's just going to help. If you rewatch that video, it gives you a third person perspective, an outside perspective. And like a lot of the times when I'm working my Mustang, I think I'm doing this, or I think my timing, it looks like that. But in reality, I'm doing something completely different. And so it's going to help you really to critique your technique, perfect your timing, see what works, see what doesn't work. And then I also like to hop on YouTube or read a book and see what other trainers are doing. And so then I can watch their videos and then compare it to mine and come up with some new ideas that might help my Mustang to better understand what I'm asking. Every Mustang really is different at the end of 30 days. I've had some that they're like riding a walk, trot, canter. They're just absolutely incredible horses. And then others are still like struggling to do basic horse things like being touched and leading. But with any Mustang I get, the priorities I'm working towards are I want them to be able to be touched, to do basic leading, and I'm going to start working on their feet. And this is so if in an emergency, I can move them to a different pasture or a different pen. If they need vet care, I can get the vet out to take care of them, and then also start working on trimming those feet. So I'm just trying to improve the quality of life. And then also, If later on down the road, life comes up and I have to skip a couple sessions, skip a couple weeks of training, I have that confidence to know, hey, I can go in there, I can touch my Wild Mustang, I can lead it, and I can still be providing it with the best care I possibly can, even if my life gets hectic. And so the last bit of advice is, I would say, stick with it even when it's hard for those first 30 days. You are going to hit roadblocks. You are going to go through times where it is very hard in training and you don't know what to do next. And I have been there on several occasions where I'm just not sure what to do. And I am very blessed to have an awesome mama who always helps me out whenever I'm stuck. And I remember this one Mustang. I was like probably 16 years old, and I had him where he was leading, doing all the basic horse things, and I started him under saddle, and he was a very spooky Mustang, and like in one day he dumped me twice just spooking at random things, and that really shook my confidence, and I wasn't sure what to do with him. And of course, my mom has a quote for everything, and this one was by Mark Twain, and it says, "If you have to eat a frog, eat it in the morning." Which my first reaction is, that is gross. Thank you for that, Mom. And then it also made me giggle because it was kind of funny. But when I really started thinking about it, I was like, that makes a lot of sense. It's like, get whatever you're dreading done first thing in the morning. And so what we did was we'd go out like at 7 a.m., right when the sun was up. My mom would actually come with me to give me moral support. She'd sit in the arena with me as I rode my Wild Mustang. And we had to do this for several weeks until both me and the Mustang got our confidence back. And now that Wild Mustang, he took me on to win that Mustang competition that year. And now he's in my program still today, teaching little kids how to ride. And I look back and I'm like, what if I had given up? What if I hadn't put in that effort? And even after we hit all those struggles, to keep going and keep riding and push through our fear, he may have never became the amazing, solid citizen enjoying his life that he is today. And so stick with it. Consistency is key. Do hard things and enjoy the journey. So if you have any more questions about Wild Mustangs, I would love to know. Drop a comment and we'll see you next time.